Hello everyone, welcome to Listen Able, a podcast by Dylan Alcott and myself, Angus O'Loughlin, where we try and normalise disability one lived experience story at a time. Today's story, I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there. It might not need it, but there may be some sort of graphic descriptions of an accident. So if you're a little squirmy, that potentially might not be something for you. I give that feedback after Seb Steele.
Yes.
Seb Steele was run over by a forklift. We didn't really give any sort of context to his injury, and someone wasn't their favourite episode to be straight into. So there you go.
No, but stick around. This young legend explains it very well. He's also doing incredibly cool stuff, so I reckon it's worth sticking around.
Yeah, maybe jump 5 minutes once we start talking about it.
I do often forget that people listen to this podcast because a lot of people do come up and say, mate, just want to say I love it. I'm like, oh, what do you love that I've done? They're like, Listen Able, which is great.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
People just come up to me and say, give us some disclaimers. Let's let our next guest introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Knox, and I'm an amputee. I've got one hand, so...
what else do you do, Knox? You just really undersold yourself there, mate. You just called yourself just to one arm. What else do you do?
Yeah, I swim. I guess you could say competitively. So I swim at at nationals and that sort of thing. And I'm an actor as well. So yeah, and I do a bit of modelling and stuff.
I was going to say you're a model, you're an athlete, you're an actor. You got lots going on. All right, I've met you before, Knox, and I'll be impressed if I did meet a lot of people, but that's no excuse. But I think I remember where we met. Did we meet at the Invictus Games after I'd finished on TV and you were out there and we said good day? Was that the first time we've met?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first time. So yeah.
Not bad.
That's good by me. And you know what that means? You made an impression on me because I do meet a lot of people and I often have to go, oh yeah, where was that again? Because I can't remember.
Recently did
but
that.
I did that, but I actually do remember that one, mate. You came up, I think you were with your family. You would have been 13 maybe, 12?
Yeah.
13?
Yeah.
Out there and said g'day, mate. And you said you wanted to be a athlete. I didn't know you wanted to be an actor. We'll get into that. And you're bloody stealing all my gigs, you bastard.
Yeah.
But mate, you've actually taken off and we've followed each other since then. So congrats on everything that you've done. What do you want to start with, Angus? Acting, athletics, disability?
Well, Knox, where do you feel you want to start? I mean, should we start at the bit where maybe people want to jump 5 minutes, which is the accident?
You've set it up. You've set up in the intro, so we might as well get it over the way with.
We'll start from the beginning.
Let's do it.
Maybe not the beginning, not in the womb, but...
Yeah, no. So I was turning 4, and I was out on my pop's farm, and I was involved in a ride-on lawnmower accident where my arm was amputated, and basically... I was behind the lawnmower because we had a push lawnmower at home and Dad always had said, safest place to be with the lawnmower is behind it. But this one was a ride-on, so not exactly the same story. And my pop had ear mufflers on, so he couldn't hear anything, and he reversed back over the top of me, and the blade cut through most of my arm and left a bit of skin, so my arm was hanging off, and then down to the bone, twice on the leg. So, yeah, and then he realised I was under the lawnmower and flipped the mower and called the ambulance. So, yeah.
Can you remember much of it, mate? Did you pass out? Was it painful? What was going on?
No, I've got a pretty good memory of it, to be honest with you. But, I mean, I reckon I blacked out like over 5 times at least. I was in and out of consciousness a lot. But, like, I remember waking up in the ute just after it had happened, and then I blacked out, and then I woke up at the house and blacked out, and then I was always in and out, and then in the ambulance, and the nurse was singing "Old MacDonald Had a Farm" to me. But yeah, no, I remember a fair bit of it, but I'm not that bothered by it.
Well, that's great, and we'll get into that sort of resolve in a little bit. But on that accident, you are living at the time where your pop's farm is in a remote part of Australia, which is part of that story and something we sort of forget. Modern medicine is incredible. We live in a metropolitan area where we can, have choices of emergency access to things if given. But can you tell us a little bit about where you were and how long it took to actually get the professional help you needed?
Yeah, so I was about 20 minutes out of a town called Manilja. It's a pretty small town. So there's not like a lot, and it's 45 minutes from from Orange, which is I guess the biggest hospital that's nearby. So I was out there, and the accident happened, and when you're that far away from, I guess, a big centre, it's always going to take a while for, for the paramedics or whoever's coming to kind of get there and help you. So I don't actually know how long it took, but I think it would have been anywhere from 20 to probably 50 minutes, waiting for that ambulance to come, which obviously in that situation, is pretty big, and I guess a bit nerve-wracking. So,
did anyone on the farm with first aid to cut the blood flow off and things like that, or were they just kind of making it up on the fly?
I was actually really lucky because the blade of the lawnmower was so hot. It essentially cooked the skin on my arm and it cauterized the wound. So I wasn't losing, like I still lost a fair bit of blood, to be fair, but I wasn't losing as much blood as you would with just a clean cut, I guess. But I was wrapped up in towels and all that sort of thing just to really try and stop that blood loss and I guess delay it for as long as we could until the ambulances got there.
And we'll get into your career, which we've alluded to a few times, but you did talk about using a prosthetic arm. Can you explain what kind of prosthetic arm you have? I know it's a pretty cool one that does some stuff, where I think our listener base, but also it's really interesting with the development in technology, that some of the stuff that you can do.
Yeah, so currently I've got, it's called a hero arm, and how do I explain this? Basically, the way it works is,
do you have it on?
No, not at the moment, but I can grab it if you.
Yeah, please
grab it. Go grab it.
If that's okay with you, because then
I'll be 2 seconds.
I do love this podcast, Angus. I'm like, mate, go grab your arm.
No, remember Barney?
It's the best. I love his
He had
podcast.
like a $500,000 arm and
he's like,
in a Coles. Remember it's in the Coles bag?
Yeah, but that's it's the
what a
world we're
podcast. Yeah, no one else is like, go grab your arm.
Go grab your arm, mate. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's like.
I'm glad we did this because that's not what I was expecting.
Obviously, remember this is a audio for a lot of people, so really get into depths about explaining it for us.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the prosthetic. It's flashing because it's low on charge. Essentially what it is, if I know people who can't see, there's two sensors on the inside of the arm, both on, like there's one on the right side, one on the left side. And I move the muscles in my arm and the sensors pick up, I think they pick up the message that my brain's sending to the muscle to make it move. And then that moves the hand. So if I were to open, or you can even do it with your hand if you stick it in there. Yep. If I were to press on that right sensor, it's not doing it now.
Low battery.
As I'm explaining, but the low battery.
No, I saw it open before. So you can open and close so you can pick up stuff with it and all that?
Yeah, so I can pick up stuff with it, and the thumb, I would show, but the battery is just being a pain. Oh, okay, there we go. So the thumb moves as well. So that it's in the second mode now, which is 2-finger mode. So I can just use 2 fingers for more, I guess, precise picking up and that sort of thing. And then the third mode is just that 1 finger that comes down.
Whoa.
So that's really
like a chef's kiss, like a
yeah. So that's the really precise. And then I guess mode 1's all 4 of the fingers come down. It's not doing that for us, but and then you can move the thumb across so you have a wider grip and you grab more things. So it's pretty handy. Helps me carry a lot of stuff, which is very helpful.
Did you do that on purpose?
Did you do that joke on purpose?
It's pretty handy.
Oh, true. I didn't know.
You did. We both very good. It is very literally. It's quite literally handy.
Yeah. It is handy. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
And we found our social clip for this episode.
There it is. There's the out.
When does it come in handy? Right.
Oh.
And no, I did it on purpose. Like, do you just use your other hand, your bodily functioning hand, most of the time? When would you actually need 2 hands? When does it actually help?
I think mostly for me, when it helps is when I need to carry stuff, and because I mean I've lost my hand, but I've also that's my I've only got a little bit past my elbow. I'm missing most of my forearm, so
which is why it surprised me, and I'm glad we brought that up, Knox, because I had not seen an image of you before this. My research was purely off just internet, where I didn't have any images. I just thought you'd lost it up to your wrist.
No.
And so when you brought out your long arm, and I'm like, why does that go to your elbow socket? It's because that's where the amputation was.
Yeah. So because I don't have the forearm, say I'm like carrying groceries or something. Without it, it's like, I mean, I've got that one hand, but it doesn't really do a lot.
You like hook it into your elbow.
If I've got both, I can hook, and it just makes it easier. Or if I'm just carrying a sports bag at school, I don't have to stack it all up on top of me. I can just freeze, because there's a freeze mode, so I can just put it in the prosthetic and freeze it, and then I'll just hold it and walk it all the way up to school.
2 questions. You ever been holding a glass or something and it accidentally bumped with your forearm and it's opened up when you've dropped stuff?
Not a glass, a lot of other stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never broken anything, thank God.
Oh, that's funny. So can you crush a pot glass?
Well,
but I guess,
hang on. Secondly, I was going to say,
lemonade.
have you ever shaken your mortal enemy's hand and just crushed them with your hand?
I wish that I could, but they've programmed it. The people who made it,
Lame.
that after a certain amount of force, and it'll like, I don't know, somehow it senses a certain amount of force or pushback, it'll stop squeezing. So
If anybody gives you a hard time, let's hack the hand and crush them.
That's right. What about power, Knox? Is there, you're talking about carrying the groceries in. Can you hold 10 bags in that one hand because you've got the grip strength that you wouldn't have had on the other?
It'd fall off your stump, wouldn't it?
I think I was talking to the people who designed it, and for people who can't see, there's these wires that run up the fingers, and they retract and then get longer when you have to open it. And I think they can hold like up to like 100 kilograms. So
wow.
Pretty decent. But the main thing is whether it'll stay on the arm.
Yeah.
It's the socket.
I was going to say, in that famous movie of Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger, when he's holding onto that woman and she's slowly letting out of the grasp of his hand, that's when you really want Knox on the line.
No, but I reckon it'd probably fall off Knox's stump, and she would
in the movie, it wouldn't.
It just pop off the arm.
Plummet to her death.
She'd fall with the arm.
Expensive and sad.
Speaking of expensive, what's the damage? How much for the arm?
I think it was around 60, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
So
NDIS covered though, hopefully.
Yeah.
NDIS is an insurance scam in Australia for people with disability, if you're listening from abroad.
Good context. Now, Knox, can I say something? Here's my normal analogy. Someone buys a car, 2 years later, the next model of the car comes out, and they're like, oh, look at my car. Do you think that, Knox? Well, my car, I've got a 10-year-old car. It's no Apple CarPlay in there. There's a lot of, no seat warmers. There's a lot of stuff I'd love in my new car that I don't have. Sponsor the podcast, Kia. Knox,
I love
for
Kia.
you, if there is, do you see a new model come out and do you get to upgrade it, or do you sit there and do a bit of woe is me like me?
No, well, it's actually funny that you said that. It is actually a lot like a car. I mean, when I first got my prosthetic, it was actually a birthday present. Funnily enough, I got my first prosthetic on my birthday. The only thing that it could do was that. And now, I mean, this arm, obviously, as I just showed you and explained, it's got so many different
features,
so many more things that it can do.
Is that software updates or hardware?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Well, software's up just updating through your computer.
It's both, I think, because obviously they've got to program it to be able to move and that sort of thing, and then they've got to do the hardware so it actually can do that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there is new arms that come out and you see, and even Hero bring out, like, I know they've brought out new updates and all that sort of stuff that you can go to your prosthesis and I guess get your arm updated. That sounds funny, but
I like it.
Well, you drive it. You're on a Nimbus 2000, and one day the Firebolt's going to come out, mate, and you're going to be like, I want that broom.
I think Knoxy Boy will get it, to be honest.
That's a Harry Potter reference to those who missed it. Do you look into the future? Is it like, obviously you've had your amputation and disability since you were 4, so most of your memories are as somebody with disability, a limb difference. But do you find yourself like Googling the future of prosthetics? I mean, we are in this weird time. I reckon the last 12 months with like ChatGPT and AI advancements, like it's just like the scale of it has gone from like this to this. Do you ever find yourself just, going down rabbit holes of what the future of prosthetics looks like? And if you have, what is it for you?
I've looked into it. I know there's the implants which you can get into your arm. You can, I don't know how they do it. They do surgery and somehow put a connector obviously inside your actual flesh of the arm, and then I think they connect the arm afterwards, and then the nerves connect somehow. I don't really know.
More advanced than the current system you've got.
Yeah. And then even without that, I know there's a lot of other arms there. I was kind of limited because I'm younger. There's certain arms that I couldn't get because obviously I'm still only 17, so I couldn't get certain arms.
Is that because they think you're growing or something?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really know why, but it's just limited. But yeah, I know there's other arms out there that are really good, and they've got like they're connected to you. You can connect them to your phone, and there's so many different signs you can do, and it's pretty crazy, to be honest. And it's only going to get better and better and better. So I'm pretty excited to see where it goes, I guess, in the next 20 years as I start to get older. And yeah,
beautiful. Now, we'll get to your swimming in a minute because that's what you're currently focusing on with some sporting event called the Paralympics fast approaching. But you're a pretty bloody good actor as well, mate. Can you tell us about some of the roles that you had? Because I reckon the people listening might have heard of them.
We'd started an Instagram page for me because we wanted to, I guess, build a profile. I mean, I was swimming at the time, and we thought, why not build a profile so maybe later on I might be able to get sponsorships or something like that. It was just kind of planning it early. So we started that, and then I did a couple of ads in Australia and that sort of thing. And then I started, I guess, getting more into modelling, and I'd done a couple of different TV shows for ABC, and one of them was the Invictus Games, where coincidentally I already met Dylan at.
Great host to that. They're great hosts.
And then I think I'd done a photo shoot, and the photographer had published the photos, and Ashley Eakin, who's a director from the US, and she's also got a disability. She came to me and asked whether she could use photos of me in a pitch to Netflix. And we went on a Zoom, and she explained the whole story and all that sort of thing. And we said, yeah, that's fine. So she went and did that. And Netflix loved it, and then I guess pushed it forward. And I think it was a part of an initiative which was giving different directors, like new directors, opportunities to make a short film. And then if they liked it, they were going to make it into a feature film. So she got me to audition along with, other people. It was a worldwide casting call. So it was for people who were amputees, but it was worldwide. And I ended up being, I guess, lucky enough to get that. And then through that, I got a manager in the US and a couple of agents. And then, you've done acting, Dylan, you know how it works. The auditions come in, and some of them you don't hear back, some of them you do. And I was lucky enough to hear back for the Hunger Games. So
what is it called?
Big drop.
What's it called?
The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I haven't really heard of the Hunger Games. Is that new?
Now this isn't. Yeah. Now I'm not downplaying it, but this wasn't the Liam Hemsworth, Jennifer Lawrence version of it.
On, mate.
No, I'm saying it was like a prequel or a post prequel. Series prequel. Yeah. And so the cast the call out for the cast was for amputees. So I'm guessing the character from the book didn't have their arm. Is that how sort of you worked?
No. The character from the book did have two hands. Oh. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. He didn't have, I guess, a limb difference as you would call it. And Francis, I know he wanted to have diverse casting. He was very happy to have me and Sophia, who had Down syndrome, and Kiel, who couldn't see in one eye. He was very happy to have us because his main thing was, at the end of the day, it's the Hunger Games, and
I was going to say, just looks like a war battle.
doesn't matter who was getting, I guess,
Killed.
what's the word, selected to go into the arena. They had to go and do it. So he had a big focus on getting that diverse casting, and he was really good. I was really, really grateful to Francis for giving me that opportunity.
It was cool because often they would have been worried, we can't kill the disabled characters. Like, well, it's the Hunger Games. It's a story. It doesn't matter who goes in, and they really lent into that. Peter Dinklage was in it. He's another legend with disability who was in the movie. What was it like filming on a massive Hollywood set? Because that's the dream for Angus and I in our acting careers. Yeah. I'm probably a little bit more progressed than Angus. How was it, mate? Because that was a huge opportunity.
Oh, it was. I mean, like I'd done the short film with Netflix, but it was a whole another level. Like especially the arena scenes, I think that was the biggest thing. Like we'd get to set and there was already a number of actors, but just the size of that set in Poland and the amount of crew that were on set every single day, it was just it blows your mind. And then obviously, as you said, working with people like Peter and Viola and Tom and Rachel and Josh, they're all so talented, and just to be able to, I guess, experience that, you learn so much even just from watching them. And especially when like Peter or something would film a scene, it's just everyone is just in awe because they were just so amazing and they'd get it done so fast. They were so good at what they do. So yeah.
How long was the filming for you?
I think all up I probably would have had maybe a couple months.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
To like somewhere, I'd say from 1.5 to 3 months. I was overseas for 5 months. They just kind of kept me there because filming schedules are, in and out and that sort of thing. So
where were you based?
We were all over the place. At first, we first flew into Berlin to do stunt training, and we did that for 3 weeks. And then we drove down to Wrocław, or I think it's pronounced Wrocław in Poland. And we were there for like a month and a little bit, and that was all the arena scenes. And then I got a break for a month, I think, after that. So they did more filming in Poland and kind of around the place. And we went to, I don't know, it was just all over the place. We went to Dusseldorf, which is in Germany, and then back to Berlin, and then Cologne, and everywhere. So
very cool, mate.
Did you do school when you were there?
Flicked it. You can't see the smile on his face when he tries to say yes. Virtual learning. Yeah, sure.
I did the assessments.
Yeah.
I did the assessments, and I was actually doing history because I was in Berlin and we were learning about Nazi Germany, so it was just kind of
just go down the road.
Timed.
Wow.
So that was cool. So I could learn about that. But apart from that, I was just being a tourist. If I had a day off, I'd go and explore, and it was so good. So
Now, Knox, obviously actor, model. There is a big part of your life that we are about to explore, and that is your swimming, which you have mentioned a couple of times, but you do have some pretty huge aspirations, and we are currently in the thick of what I imagine would be a pretty heavy training block. Do you want to give everyone a bit of an update on your swimming career and the dreams for it?
Yeah, so I guess the past year or so we've been training pretty hard because paratrials, nationals has just been, but paratrials are now coming up. So it's been very thick, and I'm going to the trials. I don't know if I'm going to make it, if I can in future, I'd love to go to the Paralympics. So.
What are you, S9?
Yeah, S9.
Jeez,
yeah.
I'm good. What are you swimming?
At the trials, I've got 100 free, 50 free, and the 200 IM.
Tough. S9's competitive classification. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
A lot of good swimmers. Are you ballpark chance of qualifying, or where do you feel like you're at?
To be honest, I don't even know. I don't know much of the older competition, I guess you'd call it.
Oh, because you'd be doing age level stuff.
So I'm still kind of in the age. I know there's obviously Tim Hodge, who holds the record in half of the events. He's ridiculous. He's so good at swimming. And there's a couple other boys that I race against that are going to be going up there. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really. I need to look in. I need to do that actually. I need to look into the, I guess, rankings and who else is going to be at the trials, who is an S9 and that sort of thing. I don't think I should go too bad, but I don't know if I'm quite, I guess, at the level yet where I could make it. I think I know I'm very happy that I did the movie, but if I had been training the whole time while I was in Germany, I might have had a better chance, but that's all right. I'm still very happy that I'd do it all over again.
Yeah.
So,
You're saying you're more of a Cody Simpson character than a Kyle Chalmers character. Is that sort of where we're at? Do you see the references there?
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, maybe at the moment, actually. Yeah, that's a good reference.
What do you swim at 100-meter free in?
Like a 1:04, I
Oh,
think.
it's quick. Still quick, mate. We love
Yeah.
it. We want everything in life, but if you were to do, where's your passion lie? Is it athlete? Is it sport? Is it acting? Is it modelling? Where do you see yourself? What do you want to do?
Yeah, look, I think at this stage, for me, I mean, I'm keeping all the options open. If I could continue acting, then that is probably what I would choose to do. And I mean, I love swimming and that sort of thing, but I think just ideally, I think acting would be a better fit for me and that sort of thing. So, but if that doesn't work out, I'm still very happy to keep swimming. So
I just love that.
yeah.
If acting doesn't work out, the Paralympics is there.
Yeah, he's got options.
Oh, I love that as an option. Mate, thank you very much for coming on and sharing a bit of your story. Before you leave, we do a bowl of uncomfortable question. Now, you are 17 years old, so this is going to be pretty tame. But this one question comes from me. It says, what happens to Knox if your dream of joining the Australian squad doesn't happen? And I mean the aftermath of it. Because you've got this sort of, back catalogue of work and options, is it going to be, do you think if you don't make the trials, it won't feel as disheartening as some of the other athletes that you'll be jumping in the pool with, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think I'm lucky because obviously as I've said, I've got a couple options at the moment, and I know for some people, I guess, I mean it's the same case for a lot of athletes really. Their sport is their life, and to lose something like that and not be able to qualify or I guess reach that goal that you have can be really hard. So I don't know. I just think I'm really lucky that I've got those options and I can always come back to acting, or I mean I'm still in school, so I've still got the HSC to go and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Well, if you ever get to those moments, you can always call on your good old friend Dill, that last Australian Open performance.
That's it, mate. I'll get you over the line. Mate, you are, I mean, most of your mates at school are just deciding what to eat for lunch, and you've got just decisions whether you're going to be in Hollywood or you're going to go
where you
to the
going to eat your
Paralympic
lunch?
Games. Good on your brother, mate. You're actually kicking ass. So you credit to yourself for all the hard work that you're putting in. And I watched the Hunger Games, mate. It was very cool to see up there. Not going to lie, I was 10% was jealousy, but then most of it was how pumped I was for you, mate. So keep being you.
And you have our full support, mate. We hope you do get into the Paralympics, because then they might have to use this interview in the coverage,
Oh yeah, well I'm there hosting it. So
absolutely.
you do your bit and qualify, and then I'll talk to you over there. All right.
Love it. Hey, congratulations, Knox.
Too easy, thank you.
Really appreciate it. And I too want to say I'm sorry. I'm really upset the way I hit that Australian Open job at you at the
What are you
end.
talking about? Oh, I lost my last match.
Yeah,
It's funny.
it was a bit mean.
Yeah,
It was a bit mean, and my heart won't let it
Sorry,
sit.
mate. I only won 7 of them, so it's
Oh, okay, he's back. He's all right. On your Knox.
All right, mate. See you, brother.